Hey people, it's me Eco Chick, and I'm out here at the release site because I got really curious about the water quality, and I did make a video that day and it didn't turn out. It was just a technical blunder, so I'm out here to do a little bit of water quality testing to share what's happening here at this site. When I was here releasing last week, it was like really warm in the 50s outside. Today it is much cooler in the low 40s. I haven't done the temperature of the water or any of the quality measures yet, and so I have my little vial here. I'm going to do a pH test just like what we do with the aquarium. So I have a few things set up over here, and I'll just kind of move back and forth, but this will be as usual. Just as if we were in our tank life habitat. It's going to be 3 drops of pH solution. So let me just go ahead and do that. I want the bottle to be, come a little bit closer. I want the bottle to be right up, upright. 1, 2, 3. So that is the pH solution. Again, this is more for the aquarium. Prepared. Oops. All right. So always screw the lid back on tightly so it doesn't make a mess somewhere. And here is the pH today. So just so you can see the difference, I saved what I collected last time. You see how blue that is? And then this is today's collection. Do you see the difference? Do you see the difference there? Wow, that's a big deal. So last week the pH was super high. Since then we've had a lot of rain, and I'll show you the bank in a second, but the water is up, easily a foot. I mean, it was very shallow, so up onto the bank further than it was last week, which is pretty significant. And then this week, this is more what our color looks like. And if I hold it up to our freshwater pH level, you'll see it's way, way, way more in the normal range than last time. That's kind of cool. So next test, I'm going to do the temperature for you really quickly. And in order to do that, I collected some water in a cup. Yes, I'm using plastic cups. I do reuse these a lot, even though they're single use. But glass out in the field breaks really easily, and I've learned the hard way. So left my beakers at the office, and I brought out some super sturdy, single use cups, but really they're so durable. If you wash them, you could use them more than once. And I have a thermometer here. You'll see I'm kind of swirling it around to give a little temperature reading. And I'm trying to not touch the sides with that, so it's only getting the water. And when I pull it out, whew, it's chillier today. Let's see if you can see that. So last week when I released the fish, the water was 51 degrees, which is, it's pretty close to what we were doing in our tank. But today, when I'm looking at it, it's more in the 48 range or so. It's kind of hard to show you this on the camera. Sorry about that. But definitely a little bit colder. Our weather has been colder. It's been getting down into the 30s since last week's release, so that's significant. And then the last test is the dissolved oxygen. So I'm going to get out one of our vials, and I have some water ready here. And if you remember this from last time, we're going to be looking at this measurement chart to see where we're at with this thing called dissolved oxygen. So living things that live in the water, like fish and plants and other living things, they need to have a certain amount of dissolved oxygen in the water in order to have a healthy life. So I'm going to go ahead and just maybe break that tip off. and let that water come in, and then I'm gonna go like this, let that bubble come up, and does it want to pop? And then from there, I have to do a little bit of the, back and forth, just a little bit. It is a tiny little hole, so I'm gonna let that bubble try to get out of there. Oops, I'm not even showing it to you. So yeah, doesn't want to bubble out of there, but I am gonna put it up next to our different choices to look at, and let's see what we think. Kind of hard to see with my sunglasses on, but definitely darker. Maybe. Let me see really quickly. Yeah, I'd say it's safely here. It's a little bit low. We're usually in a creek, like where we do salmon watch out at Lake Creek. The dissolved oxygen is always way over here. It's off the charts, like awesome, good, healthy. So that our dissolved oxygen is, let me just double check that. Yep, it's a little bit low, but this is it's a small canal. The flow of water is rather slow. It has been sort of a droughtish year with not a lot of water over the summer. So yeah, it's a little bit stagnant. But that being said, the pH is better than it was the other day, so that's super awesome. And yeah, I still am puzzling over maybe what affected our fish in their release. But one thing that is for certain is this is a human used area. So we had, like I said, more water than last time. Look what I found, this super large flip-flop. Yeah, just washed up, someone's summer fun, came back to visit on the bank, and so I'm definitely gonna pick this up and put it in my litter box here. And so because this is such a human used place, I went ahead and I have some gloves with me. I have my handy dandy trash grabber, and you remember last time I found a coffee cup. The cool thing is, there's litter pickups in this park pretty regularly, so stay tuned for a video that I am putting together from a litter pickup that I joined that was part of a organization called Solve, and it was sponsored by the NAACP and Nearby Nature, and so stay tuned for that. But the thing that was kind of cool that day is I didn't really find that much trash because it's a park and there's lots of trash cans, and so hopefully people are picking up after themselves. I am going to pick up the camera and just show you a little bit about what's happening with the water. So, oopsie, yeah, not quite like that. So check out the water. It's definitely, clear-ish over here. It's a little murkier out there. And I want to point out this plant that I found. So again, being that this is a human used area, one thing that I can tell by this plant, do you see this right here? Yeah, this is a type of plant that actually comes in some of our science kits, and it is not native to this area. And so when I'm looking a little bit closer, I can tell there's some aquarium gravel right here. So somebody released something in here, at least the plants, but maybe something living that shouldn't be here. And so it's something super important. So yes, we released our salmon here. They are a native species. They are, they're meant to live here. Some things that we study that are live for scientific reasons, sometimes they aren't from our area, and so they actually have to go into the compost or something like that. They should not make it into our waterways because it really starts to take off. Do you see it's growing right there? Yeah, there's some of that plant growing right there. I see also, just if you look really closely, there's a little bit of a clamshell there, and that is an invasive type of clam. So sometimes when the water gets out of balance, it becomes a habitat for things that wouldn't usually live here, like those freshwater clams that are sort of taking over this waterway. And they, when invasives get in, they eat the things that the animals and plants that are here are supposed to be eating, and so then there's not enough to go around for the things that are supposed to be here. So yeah, Water quality matters. Our human use of it really matters, because you may already know this, but all the water we have on our planet is all the water we are ever going to have on the planet. And so it's important to conserve it. That means not use more than you need to, and keep it as clean as possible. And so, yeah, more on water quality. If you follow the channel, you'll see some other videos coming up around water. It is, considered a first food by Native Americans, and all living things need it. That's something we all have in common. It's another thing that connects us. Water. Makes me thirsty just thinking about it. All right, well, this is Eco Chick signing out at the salmon release site here at the Cuthbert, bridge. It's actually not called that. It has a different name. It's named after a person that I didn't know. So, yeah, thanks for joining me, and have a wonderful whatever you do.